It was yesterday, and I have absolutely no idea what I want to talk about today. So here I am. We're just talking. I'm just talking, and I don't see anyone on. If you want to participate in the chat, if we have anyone on, that's great. If not, then you can just listen to me blabber for a little bit. But no, one of my favorite one of the subjects that I know most about is myself, and no one knows me better than myself. So maybe I'll just talk a little bit about me for once. I grew up in a small town in Utah, Payson. Had a great childhood. Loved it growing up. Don't miss the snow up there now that I'm down here in Las Cruces. I love the weather down here. It's a little bit warmer, even though today is very cold. And well, I guess it's not as cold as it is up there, but we don't get the snow down here quite as much as we do up there. But uh, Las Cruces is great, small town, smaller than what I'm used to before I moved down here, but not as small as my hometown. So it's kind of nice, right in the middle there. Um, so growing up in Payson, interesting little town, fun little town. Almost everybody knows everybody, and so that was fun. But it also has its unique challenges because everyone knows everything about everyone. So sometimes that privacy is a kind of an issue, but it's fun. Anyway, after growing up, I went got through my college and began chiropractic school. That's where I lived in St. Louis, Missouri, for 4 or 5 years, and I guess living in St. Louis, kind of makes me kind of a fan of the Chiefs. So I'm kind of happy that they won the Super Bowl. Sorry, Eagles fans. It was a great game. Both teams played very, very well. It was one of the most exciting football games that I've seen in a very long time. So um, that was nice, fun to watch. That's after I got finished with school in Missouri. I moved back to Utah for a little while, then moved down here to Las Cruces, and here I've been here ever since. So I'm a chiropractor. I love chiropractic because one of the main themes or one of the main ideas for chiropractic is try to get to the underlying cause of your health problems. Most of the research that's been done with chiropractic has been on musculoskeletal types of symptoms, and so chiropractic is really really good about musculoskeletal conditions. However, it's not perfect. There are some unfortunately there's some, just like with every profession, there it has its limitations, and so I've learned that I need to take a different approach. I can't solve everything, by adjusting the spine. We can solve a lot of problems, and we can alleviate a lot of suffering by just working with the spine. But we forget that there's a whole bunch of other joints in the body too. So chiropractors work with the spine, which is what they're most famous for, but they also work with the joints. So shoulder problems, knee problems, hip problems, all of this is very well within the range of chiropractic. And so, I've seen all sorts of conditions, like neck pain, headaches, low back pain, shoulder problems, hip problems, knee problems, ankle and foot problems. Plantar fasciitis is a big one that I see a lot. I've been dealing with quite a little bit of vertigo and dizziness. And so these are all things that can be addressed with chiropractic treatments. And again, chiropractic isn't the end all. It's one tool. Another tool that I've discovered along the way is functional medicine. Now, functional medicine sounds really weird, but really what it is instead of looking specifically at the spine, or if you're going to a doctor and you give them a list of symptoms, and so they give you a specific medication for those symptoms. Um, Almost anybody anymore can tell you what medication goes with what symptoms. We see so many commercials on there that we already know. And so is that fine? Yeah, that's fine. That's okay. But why don't we take it one step further, and instead of just treating the symptoms, figure out why we're having those symptoms. So we go to a doctor and we try to find a diagnosis, and that's great. That's what we want. We want a diagnosis. We want to know what it is that we're treating. But if we're treating a diagnosis with a specific medication, we're missing a few steps. I'm not saying that medication doesn't help, because it does. It helps alleviate the symptoms. But while you're on the medications, why don't we take that next step further and say, okay, why did we develop this disease, or how did we get to this diagnosis in the first place? And that's kind of where I think it gets more exciting, because we don't stop the boat there. We dig a little bit deeper. We do a little bit more detective work. It's a little bit harder, yes. It takes more time, but I think that it's a lot more exciting and much more rewarding, because we can identify the root causes of the diagnosis, and we treat that, then for some people this is a great thing. For other people, maybe it's not. But we reduce the need for medications. I'm not going to say that we want to stop your medications. That's not my job. That's the job of your medical doctor. Okay. However, if we can do some things that helps you require less medications, then I think that's a step in the right direction. Some of these medications are very, very beneficial, but all medications have side effects, and we don't know what those side effects are. For example, I had a patient come in and had low back pain. He'd been to a chiropractor or two. The prior chiropractors, they saw him for 20, 30 visits. And this gentleman was just frustrated. He didn't know where else to turn. He'd been to chiropractors before. So, of course, he was a little bit leery, coming to me. But doing a full workup, using the functional medicine model, we found that he was on a medication. I won't tell you which medication it was, but it was a specific medication for cholesterol. You may be able to guess what it is, but anyway, we run his blood labs. We found out that his levels were so low that he didn't need the medication. So of course we worked with his medical doctor, and we let him know he was taking off that medication, and his low back pain went away. And really, I didn't do a whole lot. He had already been to chiropractors. He'd already been, getting chiropractic treatment. He'd been to, we could have done another round of chiropractic, but he had already done that. So what's the point? We could have put him through a round of physical therapy. He probably already had done that. So what's the point? So I guess what I'm trying to say is it's a lot more exciting, a lot more rewarding if we can really dig down and find the underlying cause. Sometimes it's medication, sometimes it's not. Sometimes there's something else going on. Sometimes it has to do with diet. Sometimes it has to be do with an imbalance in the muscles. It has to do a lot of times hormone imbalances and nutritional imbalances can cause or amplify pain. Sometimes it's degenerative in nature. And again, if we look at the hormones are also related to degenerative processes. And so a lot of times we think about arthritis as a wear and tear. There's lots of different types of arthritis. I'm talking about osteoarthritis. Osteoarthritis is typically associated with aging and wear and tear, but it's not always, because I can see, sometimes I see 30-year-olds that look like they are, from a spine x-ray. I look at a 30-year-old spine x-ray and it looks like a 60-year-old spine x-ray. And I can see a 60-year-old spine x-ray and it looks like a 20-year-old spine x-ray. So is it aging? Maybe. Is it hormonal imbalance? More likely. Is it wear and tear? Probably a lot of that too. And so, we want to understand what is causing our health problems and, go back so that we can really address the root cause. And that's kind of what I like to do. That's the approach that I like to use in my practice. Does it take a little bit more time? Yes. Is it a little bit more challenging? Yes. Is it a little bit more costly? Yes. Is it worth it? Yes. So anyway, I hope you just enjoyed this. I didn't, at the very beginning, I had no idea what I was going to talk about, but there you go. I hope this was enjoyable for you. I hope it was informative. If you did like it, please like and share. And as always,